Good afternoon, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to Women in Tech, first chapter, first annual general meeting, cum seminar on the importance of diversity in tech and innovation. My name is Eileen, and I'll be your MC for today. As the committee members of Women in Tech SIG, I'm pleased to witness how WIT SIG had matured and grown over the last 2 years. I'm excited that WIT SIG will be elevated to full chapter towards the end of this seminar. Before we commence on our first AGM, I'd like to invite our first speaker, Ms. Lian Taylor, Chief Operating Officer, APJ, Interim Area VP, Citrix, giving her opening speech. Lian is a passionate supporter of STEM, continual learning and inspiring today's youth for digital career of the future. Lian, please.
There we go. Thank you. Good afternoon, everybody. It's super to be here and to be here in person to speak to everybody. I got to put a frock on and some shoes. I put some lipstick on, and my puppy looked at me as if to say, "What are you doing now?" Anyway, I thought I'd spend this afternoon just welcome you all and saying, it's really great to be here, just to have an opportunity to collaborate. I know that this is a topic that's pretty dear to most of us. Take you through a little bit about why I do what I do, and why it's dear to me. And then just talk a little around Citrix and what we're doing. But being here today and an opportunity really to hear from all of you and what we're doing to change things is super. There we go. So my why, I'm a single mum of 2 fabulous children, and my perspective on diversity changed when I had a daughter, because I didn't realize I was growing up in a world where I had super encouragement from my parents. And I simply had the ability to go off and choose what I was doing. But as I grew my career and I got to certain levels and I started to understand, well, actually sometimes this is quite tough. I was listening to female colleagues around me, and I was listening to peers, and I was seeing people, and I thought, well, it isn't easy out there. And then I had my little girl, and I thought, gosh, what's going to change between me being at work and her being at work? What are we doing that's going to be different? I'd like to get to the point of the challenges that we face and the things that we see every day, or the gaps that we have, are not the gaps that she's going to have. I want her to have other challenges. I don't know what they're going to be yet, but I don't want them to be the challenges. And I felt that if I wasn't going to step in and be prepared to make change and do change, then I really wasn't doing a service to her or her generation or her peers. So that's why I'm here. And a little bit about me. I'll just quickly move on. And I talk about this fairly often at times. What's in your diversity toolkit? Yeah. As we stand in this industry, we all understand, we've read the stats, we understand the benefit of having a diverse environment, and it's not just gender diversity, it's neurodiversity. It really is across the board. We can see that in the technology space, we get to faster decisions, better outcomes, more profitable companies when we start to deploy a diverse workforce. But it really is easier said than done. Easier said than done. And I think it's because we need to start to understand that we're facing a ton of challenges in this space. The challenges that we face are, we're all trying to fight for the same talent. We all recognize that there are different ways of doing it, and do our environments scale to enable it. And so I thought I'd share just a couple of things with you around what we see as a diverse kit bag. And these are some of the principles that I've worked with, and I'll talk a little bit in a minute around the mentoring that we do. But how do we start to grow talent, and especially female talent, to be comfortable with taking that next step, with being bold and being comfortable to step out knowing that it's going to be difficult? And a couple of things that I often say and look at is excellence rather than perfection. If we were to start to strive for a perfectly diverse workforce, we'd always be fighting. And I think what we've got to do is we've got to say, where are the marginal gains that we can get? What are the things that we can do, that each one of us can do within the workforce, within the environment, within the people we mentor, within the biases that we squish to make a difference in? I won't go through all of these, but resilience. Yeah, we all make changes, we all work. I've got Annie Lim, our head of talent acquisition, who's joining me today, who is just the most passionate and tireless worker in this space. And we know that if it was easy to change, we wouldn't be here having this topic. And it's not easy to change. So resilience around what we're doing and why we're doing is the piece that I believe that we need to get to. And then I think the biggest part and the biggest difference that gets made is the multiplier. And this is where I start to challenge myself on a daily basis. What am I doing today? I might have a strategic long-term road plan of what we can do in my company, or how I react personally, or the development and community work that I can do. But what are we doing today? What am I doing today to make a difference? What am I doing today to make sure that I'm removing an obstacle for somebody in my organization, or I'm focused on developing talent, or I'm focusing on mentoring and working with my male colleagues to be champions of diversity, not just to say, oh yeah, we need to be diverse, right? So what are we doing to create that multiplier effect across the board? And I think another piece for me is the don't sweat the little things. Yeah, there are going to be lots of things. We need to pick our battles, and we need to pick the things that are going to make the biggest impact for ourselves and our career paths, for the people that we want to develop, and for the talent that we want to bring into our organizations. But we need to be clear and focused and prioritize on those things that will move the needle. If we're sweating the little things on a daily basis, we end up creating the noise and the busyness that doesn't help us be productive in the changes that we're looking to do. There we go. So what are we doing at Citrix? I was talking about this a little earlier to Annie, and I said, when I make a decision to take on a move from one company to another, I'm never taking on a role. The role is really not important, because the role is going to be what I crafted and created to be based on the outcomes that I'm looking for that company. But I choose to join a company. And I was really passionate about Citrix and joining Citrix for the leadership team and their focus on diversity. And it's the first company that I've joined where I've worked for them, and we don't just focus on diversity and inclusion, but we focus on diversity, inclusion, and belonging. Yeah, it's one thing to have a diverse workforce. Can we make sure that everybody feels included and safe to contribute? But do you feel that you belong and you're valued in that environment? And this is a passionate space for me. So we've done a couple of things over the last 18 or 24 months that I think has really moved the needle for us in terms of the talent that we're able to attract, but in terms of working in the community to make sure that we are really enabling even those, especially early young talent, who may never come and work for us. And that's okay. They may go and work for somebody else down the line. But I'm passionate about making sure that we're creating a pathway and opportunity for especially early talent. So we've launched our industrial attachment program that was incredibly successful last year. And some of the work that came out of this talent program was exceptional. We redefined our BI and analytics platform in the most agile way, with a young chap who was doing a double degree at the same time as working for us. He very seldom ever came into the office because he didn't have the capacity to be in that space, and he could work at any time that he wanted, and his outcome was simply based on the deliverables that he set. So we've had an exceptionally productive outcome, and especially for me is when we spend time with these young students and have a listen to what they've learned. What we find actually is that we're learning a whole bunch more about ourselves and our environment and the obstacles we may or may not have. So it's a hugely profitable program to us in terms of the knowledge that we gain. We have an incredibly strong focus on all elements of diversity, and that's something that I'm incredibly proud of. But I sponsor the Women's Network at Citrix, and again, that's a personal why for me. I want to make sure that we are doing a couple of things, that we're attracting talent and making sure that they have a really strong development path. The choice is yours. You're going to need to have grit. You need to have effort. but we are there to make sure that we are removing any perceived obstacles that sit in the way. I think around our diversity program, the important thing for us is not simply that we have a group of women doing this. We have male champions in every single one of our regions who own this program. And the importance of that is to do a couple of things. It's to make sure that we have complete cross-pollination of understanding within early talent, more mature talent, and cross-pollination specifically around managing young females in our workplace as well. Because for some of the men that we're working with, they may have been in the tech industry for years and years and years, but they've not managed early talent females. And it's different. It's not different in the outcome that you're expecting from them, but perhaps the way in which you need to get to the outcome is different. We're tackling unconscious bias and working with Annie. What we're launching this year is, and I was quite vociferous on this requirement, I don't want a CV to go to a manager with a name on it. You don't need to know if that's a male or female that is applying for that role. So strip the name out, have a look at the CV, and make a decision on whether to progress that CV based on the quality of the output against the requirement you're looking at. Who cares if it's Joe, Mary, Susie? We don't need to know. And this is going to be a change for our organisation, because we are naturally predisposed to taking it up and looking and going, oh, Bob's got this experience. Bob's good. Yeah, so that's going to be a change for us. It's making sure we have the buy-in of everybody, but I genuinely believe that if we're going to tackle these elements of unconscious bias, then we can't talk around tackling it. We have to go and figure out, what are we going to do? And again, I can't boil the ocean, but there will be 3 or 4 things that we absolutely can do that I believe will make a significant impact. And I'm looking forward to measuring that impact and to sharing that impact and to seeing what goods come out of that. And then nurturing talent. This is probably the best part of the role that I get to do. You'll see at the moment I have 2 roles. I'm the COO, but I've also been standing in as the AVP running the ANZ business, which has given me a great opportunity to get across a whole bunch of detail in our business and talent in our business that perhaps I wouldn't have in my existing role as Chief Operating Officer. Every time I step into a meeting or a call or work across a project, I'm astounded by the talent that we have. But what I'm also astounded by is that people don't recognize the value that they themselves inherently have. And very seldom do they stick up their hand and say, oh, I want that job, or I want to do that next, or why can't I do that? And that's what I'm really trying to encourage. We've got some incredible opportunity that we've seen and talent that we've developed from within Citrix. And I'm passionate about making sure that we're allowing people to find a path that may be completely outside of what they do today. We have our EA, who was incredibly strong as an executive assistant in Australia, who is now managing our entire executive briefing centre. Who better than the person who deals with executives all day to run a centre for executives? And that wasn't something that she thought about. And when we said to her, wouldn't that be in your path? And she said, oh, I'm not qualified. Because of why? Of course you're qualified. So I think that's there. And alongside that base, I'll use my own kind of experience to end off with. When I first left school, I was fortunate enough to be given a scholarship to study medicine. And for both my parents, who'd never been to university and not finished school, this was exceptional. And the reason that I chose not to do that is because in the little village that I grew up in Durban, my doctor, who I maybe saw once a year, was a lovely lady who worked 3 times a week in a windowless office in the mornings. And I came home to my parents and I thought, I'm not sure about the 7 years of study, so that's what I do all day. And they went, of course you can, you're going to be a doctor. And I went, no, I don't think so, I can't. And it comes down to, you can't be what you can't see. I had no exposure to, a neurologist or something else, and I was fortunate enough never to be ill. But I didn't know anything outside of, if you became a doctor back in my day, which is a long time ago, you might get to work 3 days a week in a windowless office giving people paracetamol for their ailments. And it didn't really sound appealing to me. And so as we go forward on this journey, it is a journey together. I really encourage all of us, be out there and be those examples of what especially early talent needs to see in the environment. And that's not just, I'm not talking just to the women in the room, I'm so pleased to see the men in the room, I'm talking to you as well. You need to be the example of what everybody can see. So thank you very much, I wish you all the best, and I appreciate the time today.
Thank you, Lian. Thanks for your bold perspective, and definitely we inspired all of us today, and definitely love your unconscious bias embedded in your hiring. Yeah, thanks. Yeah. Our next speaker, Dr. Pang Yao Zhang, Head of Data Science, Head of Data Science Shopee. Dr. Pang is one of the women who have been recognized in the Innova Singapore 100 Women Tech 2020 list. Dr. Pang Yao Zhang leads the data science team at Shopee, the e-commerce platform of Southeast Asia Group. She has built the data science team for Shopee from scratch and grew the team to a strong data science team with 30 plus full data scientists and 10 data science interns. She is committed to introducing the most advanced technology of machine learning and artificial intelligence into industries and commercial applications. Before Shopee, she worked for Grab, Greenwave System, and was a research scientist at the Institute for Info Research, A*STAR. Without further ado, let me invite Dr. Pang to share on the importance of diversity in tech and innovation, and how Shopee as a tech company firmly believes that the diversity and inclusion plays a crucial role in driving innovation. As such, we ensure that these values are deeply embedded in our culture. Dr. Pang, please.
Good afternoon, everyone. I'm very glad to be invited to the event, and actually this is the first time this year I physically attend the event, public event. So most of the speech, panelists, etc. is all done virtually in Zoom. So really happy. Yeah. So today I will talk about, since I'm working in the tech industry. And my expertise is in using AI technologies to drive e-commerce business. So I'm going to talk about in the tech sector, how can we embed the gender diversity, and also how to avoid the unconscious bias during our daily work, and even on building model and algorithms. Yeah, just a little bit correction. So nowadays, the data science team at Shopee, the size is 130 already. Yeah, so the 30 is the old number last year. Okay. So first, a brief introduction about Shopee. But I guess most of you already know the platform very well, and I believe maybe a lot of you become a fan of it. Like myself, I spend a lot of time doing online shopping on it, especially during the COVID-19 circuit break time. Yeah. So hopefully you enjoy the shopping experience, because we all really did a lot of effort to try to improve the customer experience using all kinds of technologies. So these are some simple numbers about Shopee business. In Q3 2020 alone, Shopee handled close to $10 billion worth of orders, and that is an impressive numbers. But it's important to remember that behind this big number, there are millions and millions of real people whose lives are being improved every day by Shopee. In Q3 2020, we have more than 700 million gross orders, and our GMV is close to 9.3 billion. So this are quite impressive numbers, and I believe this is due to the life-changing the environments that everyone is quite engaged in the online shopping experience, and also our effort that we have done to suit it for everyone's personalized need and shopping experience. Shopee is the e-commerce arm of C Group, and under C Group there are three key business. One is Shopee, and we also have Garena, the game platform, and we have C-Money, which is the most new business in C Group is the finance business, and I believe you also heard about the digital banking lessons that we get this year. So we founded the Shopee, the C Group founded in 2009, and Shopee platform officially launched in 2015. C Group are officially C Group is listed in New York Stock Exchange in October 2017. I joined Shopee 1 year after the Shopee app officially launched. The key logic is you first need to launch the app to collect the data, and then you can use the data to do something for our clients, customers. And these are the key functions that are embedded in Shopee organization. Yeah, so from the list of key functions, you can see how many efforts that we are putting to improve the business model to serve our customer, to actually trying to boosting up the shopping experience for everyone. So we have a corporate team, including finance, people, strategy. We also have a lot of commercial team, like brand growth marketing, brand partnership, business development, cross-border marketing. So this team, we have both regional and local team, so that we can serve our local markets in a more customized way, so we can suit it for the local market's need. And we also have the core technical team, including business intelligence, data science, and software, and then engineering. And we have the product and the operational team, including customer experience, product management, regional operation, and UI UX design. So we are going to the topic I want to talk today, which is the AI and gender equity. So nowadays, the data-driven artificial intelligence system increasingly determines how business targets advice to consumer, how police departments monitor individual or group for crime activities, how bank decide who can get the loan, and even how employees is to be hired, right? And even the admission of a university, etc., etc. So the AI and machine learning becomes more and more immersively embedded in everyone's life. So there are pros and cons for this trend. So the AI itself, the technology has the potential to help to reduce the unconscious bias that's caused by human. Yeah, like the algorithm, the model is learning the pattern from data, so it's quite objective. So if we using algorithms that is decided learning pattern from data, we can mostly eliminate the human error and human bias towards gender, towards racial, whatever, all the bias. So that's the advantage of AI technology usage in our daily life. But in the other side, we all know the AI technology is based on some human supervision, especially the two key elements in building a machine learning model, including humans' interpretation and the data. Right? So we come up with a solution with an algorithm from data. So imagine if the data itself, the data we fit into the model is already biased. How can we make sure the model is object enough, is unbiased? And also, the people who are working on the modeling, who are working on the algorithm parts, is also quite important. Because model results in one side, their numbers in another side. In order to make the number meaningful, to be insightful, you need human to interpret it. Yeah, so all this can make the AI's efforts to trying to delineate bias becomes in vain. Give an example. Give a quite simple example. So if in a company we are trying to hire people without bias, but and so we try to build a model to screen the CV automatically without human intervention, right? That sounds like a great idea. But if in the past 5 years, in one role, there are only male applicants and male candidates for that role, so your model won't have any input about female candidates. Yeah, then your model, your algorithm definitely will be biased towards men. Yeah, so this is a simple example, and there are a lot more examples toward this. And even like nowadays, you probably using a lot of like the Amazon Echo, etc. at home. You may sometimes realize the device itself is more linear towards some standard accents. If you are the minority with a certain accent, or even the difference can be happen across like different age group, different gender, right, etc., etc. That's mainly due to the sampling of training data and also the human interpretation about the model result, about the whole process, model building, development cycle of the AI trainers, etc. So we now know the potential benefit of using AI technology in our daily life, and also the potential risk, right? So are there anything that we can do to help us enjoy the benefit, but also mostly to avoid the potential risk? So first, we cannot solve a problem without recognize it, right? In order to solve the problem and in order to avoid the risk, we first need to be very consciously to find out whether there's a problem, right? So we need to regularly ask us the question, is there any bias in our data? Is this element has some certain cause effect towards the result, right? So even when we saw some numbers are correlated to some certain results, we cannot directly drive the conclusion that they are causality. We still need to do a lot of reasonable inference to draw the conclusion. So like for example, in the hiring process, if you want to build a model, just now we talk about the potential bias, potential risk, right? So at that moment, we need to ask us question, does gender have a causal effect on salary? Or does gender have causal effect on hiring process, on decide whether this is a good candidate or not, right? So in another word, we need to ask, would a woman be paid the same? Would a woman be paid more if she was a man? Or if a woman will be considered a great candidate if she was a man, etc. We need to always keep in mind to ask questions so that we can find out the problem and we can explain the causal effect. More importantly, for organizations, the artificial intelligence, we just explained artificial intelligence, the machine learning is not truly objective, right? A lot of elements will affect it, including data, including a person who built it. So another solution, another effort that we can make to make sure that unconscious bias happen in building the model is we need to getting more women involved in building the AI model in the process. So that's why at Shopee we try to make sure that we are embracing the gender equity, especially in tech team. Adding more women and make sure a diverse group of workers is one way to reduce the bias for sure. So this will allow us to provide additional perspective and fail set, and thus people creating and training AI to more accurately reflect a diverse and more inclusive society. But unfortunately, currently women are severely underrepresented in AI field. With one industry finding that only 12% of leading machine learning researchers were women, right? That's a huge bias itself. So that's why today I want to really emphasize that we need more women in tech. We need more women to voice out in tech industry so that we can make sure all of the work, all of the tool we build up will be in balance. So most specifically, I'd like to talk about our effort to encourage women in tech at Shopee. So at Shopee, we are starting to see more women taking on more senior roles in tech. I personally feel that the tech industry cannot thrive without it, without input from female workforce. For more women to be in leadership role, companies need to understand the level of gender diversity in their business, both enable and empower women to progress towards more senior and manager role. As such, women must have equal access to opportunity. At Shopee, the diversity and the inclusion are embedded into our culture, all the way from the junior level employee towards the highest level of senior management, and down to our newest hire impress this culture as well. From the moment we hire, our recruiter and hiring manager do their best to offer every candidate a fair opportunity. And our Shopee employee, every Shopee employee has the same access to any internal opportunities. And we work closely with the employee to make them feel valued in the workplace. And we even have special working mother group that we can join the group and discuss about particular needs of our female employee, and our people team can take relevant action to suit their needs so that they can make sure the special need won't affect their working performance. So at Shopee, besides that, we also trying to organize a lot of external public events to encourage especially the young women to actually enter the tech industry world. So at Shopee, we organize a lot of a series of events like National Data Science Challenge, which actually attract more than 5,000 participants, including all age group, different gender, different background, etc. And we also provided a lot of boot camp and like Shopee Open Day, provide some workshop for hands-on workshop for people for this junior people or the students to join us and try out the hands-on technologies. And we also collaborate with organizations like Girls in Tech, Coding Girls, and empower more girls to code and achieve their ambitions into the digital economy. That shows that we really pay special attention to attract potential female candidates to join us, and we are trying our best to encourage young ladies and those female students to think about enjoying their future career towards the tech industry. Yeah, this is about the activities. This is about our DP Awards in 2019. And here in this slide, I just want to showcase our result, our achievements by putting so many efforts on encourage female to join to actually enjoy the tech industry, to work in tech industry. So at Shopee, we nowadays have a lot of great tech leaders, female tech leaders, and also we have a lot of great individual contributor, female individual contributor as well. Here, just list down some more senior leaders within Shopee. So we have a female leader across different functions, including like product management, data science, myself, and data engineering, and also operation, data analytics, all kinds of functions. Yeah. So for some reason, I personally feel ladies have a special data sense. Yeah. So that's true. So in my team, the gender balance is quite good. We have a lot of female data scientists. So you know, ladies are very good at interpreting numbers. Yeah. So they can quite successfully from numbers to get a full picture, to come up with a great story to explain it. Yeah, that's some special advantage I see from female tech people. Yeah, that's true. we understand the customer. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. So last year we also work with Women in Tech and support the program 2020 Women in Tech program a lot. So we have hosting a few secondary school events. So we invited them to Shopee office and showcase that how an internet company, how is the daily life of working in an internet company, how is the engineering work looks like, right? And we also partner with several junior college for the Basic Coder Challenge. I mentioned that as well just now. Yeah, so we try to encourage them to enjoy coding. Besides the challenge, we also provide free training as well. And we organize a lot of boot camp and the workshops provide free training for public. We also contribute our venue, like our brand new Shopee building is a great place to holding a lot of big events. Yeah, so that's happened before COVID-19 for sure. Yeah, yeah. So that's there are a lot of things I cannot list down all this effort that we have done. Yeah, so that's pretty much about the first topic I want to talk about, and I would like to quickly go through, since I'm from a tech sector. I guess you will be interested to hear me share some of our AI work at Shopee. So I'm going to talk about one project that we have done. Yeah, so the title equity is not the same. Yeah, so the shopping experience I just mentioned is all about suit your need. It's all about personalized. So when we said gender equity, gender equity doesn't mean we treat you like a man, right? Yeah, that means we take the same effort to understand every customer, and we provided the best shopping experience for everyone, for different age group, for different professional group, for different for female and male. Yeah, that's the concept. So the project I'm going to quickly go through is called the personalized banner. Yeah. So first, what's the banner? When you open the Shopee app, you will see the first thing you will see is a banner. So the banner is a dynamic one, and every time you open the app, you will see different content. So most of the time you will see the banner showing something you quite interested in. You may click in and then enjoying the item, the SKU collection within the microsite, etc., and enjoying your Shopee experience. But besides that, so beneath that, it's not just a simple picture design. So beneath that, there's a lot of data support and modeling, and everyone actually is seeing different banner, right? And the banner that I push to you is actually through a lot of data analysis to understand your preference, and we try to push the most relevant content to you, so you won't be distracted and won't waste your time to looking at the content that is irrelevant. So let's see the scenario. So first we need to understand our customer. So for example, let's meet our customer. If we have a customer, Mr. Tu is an IT executive. Recently, he has been browsing Shopee for some different brand and models of robot vacuum, right? And Sarah is a 30-year-old housewife living in Paris with a 3-month-old baby and husband. She likes knitting and embroidery, so he recently browsed a lot of relevant stuff. So what's behind the personalized banner concept? What we are doing is we first need to do the SKU personalization. So we need to both consider the human behavior, the browsing history and purchase history, and all of his demographics feature. Like some customer will give us information like their age or gender. Some of them may not, but we can still try to suit their needs through his behavior pattern. Yeah, and also combine with the each product's attribute. Like for each product we will label it, like so what's the category, what's the key attributes, like the brand, the model, the material, the shape, the texture, etc. We will extract the product's key information through a lot of text mining, image recognition, etc., etc. Yeah. So by doing deep analysis about both users' data and the items information, we can then come up with the best matching algorithms to match the product to the right user, right customer. And the banner that's generated for specific users will be the product that most suited for him or her. Yeah, as you can see here. So even for banner generation itself, it's done by algorithm. So we are not like just simply pass to the human operator that this user likes sofa, please like generate a banner about sofa. No, these are all done automatically through algorithm, through program. So in this process, the key technical we are using, including some computer graphics technologies like image segmentation, right? Like usually the product image is something including a variety of backgrounds, and some of them are even quite complicated. So we need to extract the main body of the product, like here. And we also, the image segmentation actually is need to be done through a huge amount of data training. But luckily at Shopee we have a lot of this product image, so we can train out a great model that can give us quite clear image of the product. And also, once we have segment the product out of the product image, original product image, we need to group them. Yeah, you can see our banner most of the time is not one single product. We are blending all different elements together to form a nice banner. So the key components in banner including the copyright, the words, the wording parts, the product, decoration, background. And there are also a lot of design elements like the color scheme, the layout, the image editing, etc. So that's all of the elements need to be taken care of to make a banner look nice to our user. So the elements blending part is also done by machine learning. Yeah, so it works in that way. We have our great designers to design a lot of nice picture-like banners as input to the model, and the model will then learn from that standard version to learn the style, the color scheme, the layout, the decoration style, etc. And then we can use the model to automatically generate the blending of all the elements together to form a nice banner. And even the theme, the color, the layout can be personalized. Yeah, that's a simple introduction about this project. So with this, I like to show that special care of make sure different group, including gender, age group, need to take special care of to make sure everyone's needs is suited, right? So in order to do that, we do need to pay a lot of attention to the data, to the algorithm itself. That's why we need to encourage more female to join the tech industry so that they can bring in more interesting insight to make sure that we are embedded all the perspective and all the needs from all the different user group. Okay, that's all for today. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Pang. WIT is honored to be your first for the new year, and apology for understating your data scientist team, and thanks for calling that out. It's very important numbers. And fun facts about Shopee. Yes, I wanted to let Dr. Pang know that my husband was the one who successfully brought Shopee to be a family bonding application. Yeah. So we come to the end of our seminar after hearing from our two inspiring women, Citrix COO Lian Taylor and Shopee Head of Data Science Dr. Pang Yao Chan. It is time now to celebrate the elevation of women in tech